October 31st, 1943. Halloween morning over China. Tech Sergeant Arthur Benno is crouched behind twin 50 cals in his top turret, watching 29 Japanese Zeros climb straight toward his formation. He's 32 years old, already got 17 combat missions under his belt, 7 confirmed kills. And he's about to prove that sometimes the dumbest-sounding idea is actually pure genius. But here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. Benno had done something the night before that every other gunner thought was absolutely insane, something his commanders told him was a mistake, something that was about to make him the deadliest bomber gunner in the entire Pacific Theater. Let me paint you a picture of what aerial combat looked like in 1943. Every single B-24 gunner in the 14th Air Force loaded their ammo belts the exact same way. 4 regular rounds, 1 tracer. 4 regular rounds, 1 tracer. Those tracer rounds, they were loaded with phosphorus that burned bright as hell when you fired. The idea was simple. You could literally see where your bullets were going, like a laser pointer from hell streaking through the sky. The brass loved tracers. Training manuals swore by them. Every gunnery school in the States taught you to rely on those glowing rounds to adjust your aim. It was standard operating procedure, straight from the book. But here's what nobody wanted to talk about. In the 4 months before Benno's Halloween mission, his squadron had lost 11 gunners, 11 guys, and the pattern was always the same. Japanese fighter pilots weren't stupid. They'd see those bright orange streaks arcing through the sky, and they'd follow them right back to the source, like following a neon sign that said, "Shoot here." Most gunners never survived their first head-on pass with a Zero. Arthur Benno was not your typical 20-year-old fresh-faced recruit. This dude was 32 when he volunteered in 1941. He'd grown up in Bisbee, Arizona, captain of the high school football team, worked as an electrician in the copper mines. But his real passion? Competitive shooting. We're not talking about some weekend hobby. Benno was serious. He spent every weekend at rifle ranges. He loaded his own ammunition. He studied ballistics like it was scripture. In 1937, he placed 6th in the National Rifle Championship. In 1940, he won the entire Arizona State Championship. He was president of the Bisbee Rifle and Pistol Club. When the recruiting sergeant saw Benno's age and then saw his shooting scores, he didn't even hesitate, sent him straight to aerial gunnery school in Vegas. Benno graduated top of his class. So when Benno got assigned to the 374th Bomb Squadron and saw those tracer rounds loaded into his ammo belts, his competitive shooter brain immediately knew, this is going to get somebody killed. That first night in China, Benno sat alone in the armament tent with 500 rounds of .50 cal ammo spread across a wooden table. One by one, he removed every single tracer round, every single one. He replaced them with standard ball ammunition, no phosphorus, no glow, no bright line pointing straight at his position, saying, "I'm right here, come kill me." The other gunners thought he'd lost his mind. How are you going to hit anything without tracers? Benno's answer was cold and simple. I've been shooting competitively for 15 years. I don't need glowing bullets to know where my rounds are going. The armorer warned him. His squadron commander told him tracers were regulation. Benno didn't care. He'd done the math. He'd seen the casualty reports. Invisible beats visible when the enemy's trying to kill you. So there's Benno, Halloween morning, watching 29 Zeros climbing fast toward his formation. The lead Zero opens fire at 1,800 yards, too far. Benno waits. His manual says open fire at 1,000 yards. Benno had read that manual, then he threw away half of what it taught. He watches the Zero climb. 1,500 yards, 1,200 yards. The fighter's wings flash in the morning sun. Benno's finger rests on the trigger. Not yet. 1,000 yards. The Zero's nose lifts, the pilot's lining up his guns. Benno squeezes the trigger. The twin 50 cals roar, 50 rounds per second, no tracers, no glowing trail, just invisible death cutting through the air at 2,900 feet per second. The Zero's canopy shatters, the fighter rolls left and falls away, trailing smoke. Benno's already tracking the second Zero. 3-second burst, the Zero's engine explodes. 2 down in 40 seconds. Here's where it gets wild. The Japanese pilots had no idea where the fire was coming from. They saw American bombers, they saw muzzle flashes, but they saw no tracer streams, no bright line showing them exactly which turret was shooting. They scattered. Meanwhile, other gunners in the formation were firing with their standard tracer loads. Their rounds drew bright orange lines across the sky, like highways pointing straight to their positions. Japanese pilots followed those tracers back and concentrated their fire. 2 B-24s fell out of formation. 16 American gunners died in 90 seconds. But no Japanese pilot could see Benno's fire. His bullets arrived with no warning. He was invisible. He was death from nowhere. By the time the air battle ended 8 minutes later, Benno had fired 640 rounds. 5 Zeros burned in the rice paddies below. 2 more spiraled into the Gulf of Tonkin, trailing fire. When his B-24 landed back at base 3 hours later, the squadron commander was waiting. He'd counted the gun camera footage. 7 confirmed kills. 7 Japanese fighters destroyed by 1 gunner in 1 mission. It was the highest single mission score for any bomber gunner in the entire 14th Air Force. The other gunners wanted to know how he'd done it. Benno showed him his ammo belts. Pure ball rounds, 0 tracers. They finally got it. The Japanese couldn't kill what they couldn't see. Within a week, half the gunners in the 308th Bomb Group had stripped their tracers. Within 2 weeks, 3/4. The modification spread to other squadrons, other bomb groups, other air forces. Benno had started a revolution. But here's the thing most people miss. Removing tracers was only part of the equation. Benno's kill scores weren't luck. They were the result of 15 years of competitive marksmanship. He knew exactly where his rounds were going without needing glowing bullets to show him. Most gunners couldn't do that. 2 weeks after Halloween, Benno climbed into his turret for a mission to Hong Kong Harbor. Intelligence said to expect light fighter opposition, maybe a dozen Zeros. Intelligence was dead wrong. 34 Zeros were waiting over Hong Kong. 34. The battle was brutal. Zeros attacked in coordinated pairs, swarming from multiple angles. Benno's bombardier took a direct hit and died instantly. The bomber lost an engine. They started falling behind the formation. Falling behind meant dying alone. 6 Zeros peeled off and dove toward Benno's crippled bomber. He had 400 rounds left. He'd need every single one. The Zeros came in waves. Benno took them methodically. High pair first. Tracked the leader. Fired. Engine exploded. Fighter rolled and burned. 6 down. Second Zero broke right. 2-second burst. Canopy shattered. 7 down. Beam attack from the left. First burst missed. He corrected. Wing exploded. 8 down. Another Zero. Fuel tank hit. Fireball. 9 down. Climbing Zero. His guns jammed. He cleared them in 8 seconds. Recharged. Fired. Tail section shredded. 10 damaged or destroyed. But his bomber was dying. 2 engines gone. Hydraulics failing. Losing altitude fast. The captain gave the order. Bail out. Benno jumped out of his turret at 3,800 feet into occupied China. Benno hit the ground in a bamboo grove 17 miles from Hong Kong. He evaded Japanese patrols for almost 48 hours. No food, no weapon except a pistol with 8 rounds. He lost the pistol crossing a river while Japanese troops and tracking dogs hunted him. On November 15th, exhausted and surrounded, he was captured. He gave them nothing but name, rank, and serial number. Arthur Bino was classified as killed in action. His body was never recovered. He was 32 years old. His final tally? 16 confirmed kills. No other bomber gunner in the entire U.S. Army Air Forces ever achieved that score. Fighter pilots with 16 kills received Distinguished Service Crosses. Some got Medals of Honor. Their names filled newspapers. Their faces appeared in newsreels. Arthur Bino got the Silver Star, and then he got forgotten. But here's what matters. His innovation survived. Thousands of bomber gunners removed their tracers. Loss rates among aerial gunners decreased by 18% in the first quarter of 1944. The modification spread to the 10th Air Force in India, then to the B-29s flying missions against Japan. Modern military aircraft still avoid using tracer ammunition in situations where revealing gun positions creates tactical disadvantage. The principle Bino proved in 1943 remains valid today. Invisible fire is more effective than fire that advertises its source. By 2025, most Americans have never heard of Arthur Bino. Fighter races became famous. Richard Bong, Tommy McGuire, Gregory Boyington, household names. All officers, all pilots. Bomber gunners were forgotten, even the ones who changed how aerial warfare was fought. Even the ones who saved hundreds of lives with one simple innovation. Even the ones who held records that would never be broken. One man's refusal to follow standard procedure. One man's trust in his own training. One man's stupid ammo trick. 16 confirmed kills and a legacy that outlived his forgotten name. The last photograph of Arthur Bino shows him standing beside his bomber in late October 1943, 2 weeks before Hong Kong. He's 32 years old, arms crossed, expression calm. He looks like exactly what he was, a man who knew his craft better than anyone in the sky. Survival in aerial combat wasn't about courage. It was about mathematics, ballistics, probability, eliminating variables that got you killed. Tracer rounds were a variable that said, "Come kill me." Bino removed that variable. The rest was training. And that training kept him alive through 17 missions, gave him 16 confirmed kills, changed how the entire U.S. Army Air Forces thought about defensive gunnery, and died with him in occupied China at age 32. These men deserve to be remembered, and you're helping make that happen.